Hello, Obooters from around the world. My name is Kenza, and I am 9 years old from Dubai, UAE. Today, my cousin Feiza, who is 10 and lives in Birmingham in the UK, we will be interviewing Mona Tavassoli. Mona is based in Vancouver, BC, Canada. She is the founder of Mompreneurs Worldwide, an organization that empowers women, especially mothers, to become entrepreneurs and help them balance their personal and professional lives. Mona's work links to several sustainable development goals, especially to Goal 5, gender equality, and Goal 8, decent work and economic growth. Feiza and I will ask questions to Mona about her background, her journey, her work, her skills, and her impact. We hope that you will enjoy this session, and I will now start with our first question to our guest. Can you please tell us a little bit about you and what you do to work?
Of course. First of all, thank you so much, Kenza. Thank you, Feiza, for this opportunity. I'm honored to be with you. And Kenza, this has been my favorite introduction so far. You did such an amazing job. Thank you so much. And you pronounced mompreneurs perfectly. I know some people have difficulty pronouncing it. You did a great, great job. So first of all, hats off to both of you for doing such an amazing project. As you mentioned, my name is Mona Tavassoli. I am the CEO and founder of Mompreneurs Worldwide. We believe that empowered mothers raise empowered leaders, and we empower them through mentorship and entrepreneurship. So we have different projects. I used to live in Dubai as well. And we pivoted our business from having personal events and in-person trainings into a digital membership and digital community. So we have a membership called Mompreneurs Tribe. And every month we discuss different topics in the areas of well-being, family, and business. And we also do different activities to empower mothers all around the world.
Okay, so how did you come up with the idea to create Mompreneurs Worldwide, and who inspired you?
Such a great question, Faiza. That goes back to many years ago, actually, when I became a mother back in 2011. So my background is marketing and advertising, and I work in different agencies. I work on different accounts, such as Nestle, which was one of our main accounts, and I love the world of advertising and marketing. From Dubai, I went to France to get my master's degree. When we came back, I was in a short period of, let's say, 2 years. I got married, I was pregnant, and we started our own business as well. So 3 new roles started all of a sudden. So going from single to being a wife, being a mother, being an entrepreneur. And we started our own advertising agency with my husband back in 2011. His background is also marketing and advertising, and the agency is called Polar Bear Creative. We have that company in Canada as well. And we do digital marketing and advertising. After starting my own business, I became a mother as well. I realized that there are so many challenges that we as mothers face when we start our own businesses as well. So I started a community for mothers called Mompreneurs in Middle East. So we did monthly meetings. We supported each other. So the whole idea really came from a need of being a mother and being an entrepreneur and wanting that extra support from the community. And then it was really amazing to see the support that all of these women entrepreneurs were giving each other. They became partners, they became clients, they became suppliers. Like they really worked really well together, and they had something in common, and that was being a mother and being an entrepreneur as well. And so that was Mompreneurs Middle East. We established it back in 2013. When I moved to Vancouver 2018, we changed the name from Mompreneurs Middle East to Mompreneurs Worldwide.
Okay, and Mona, for how long have you been working on your project?
So the first entrepreneurship idea that I had was part of my master degree back in France. We started a company called Fraise Blanche in France, and that was more of an internship, just to get to know the world of entrepreneurship. And before that, I was an employee for many years, as I said, in advertising and marketing. So 2010, we established Fraise Blanche. 2011 was our first official company in Dubai, Polar Bear Creative, and Mompreneurs Middle East was established in 2013.
Okay, and why did you choose to become an entrepreneur?
Such a great question, Feiza. So, when we came back from France, I was already pregnant. So, going back to the corporate world was not really possible at that time. I believe things have changed a lot since 2010. So now it's kind of illegal in many countries to not give a job offer to a person who is pregnant. But for me, I did not really have so many choices at that time. And I really wanted to work. For me, I have always worked. It was something that I wanted to do, and I wanted to have that choice. So when we started our own advertising agency, I was really amazed to be able to do the things that I was doing before that while I was pregnant. And then when my son was born, he was coming with us to the office. We had a little corner for him as well. So balancing that act of motherhood and entrepreneurship was something that it's challenging. I never sugarcoat entrepreneurship, neither motherhood, but it was really absolutely very rewarding as well.
And how do you manage being a mom and an entrepreneur at the same time?
Well, definitely, I had my own challenges, and I still have a lot of challenges as well. But I believe something that really helped me, and I'm really passionate about helping with other mothers because I went through the journey, and I'm very passionate to be able to share my experience. One of the main was being able to define my values. What are the things that are important to me, and then saying no to everything else. So my top three values are family, growth, which my business is there, and my own well-being. So everything else, it comes after these three have been taken care of. I think one of the main challenges that we have is sometimes we say yes to too many things, to too many projects, to too many ideas, and being crystal clear of what are things that really matter to me. And those are non-negotiables. First of all, taking care of those, the things that are the most important. And then if there's enough time, then I'll take care of the rest as well.
What did you do before mompreneurs, and what did you learn from your previous experiences that is helping you now with mompreneurs?
Well, that takes me back to many, many, many years ago, Feiza. And that's when I was studying at the university. In my culture, I'm Iranian. In my culture, again, going back to year 2000, it wasn't very common in our family, at least, for women to work unless they needed to work. So for me, there weren't too many role models at that time around me that they said they were working and they had dreams beyond having a family. And for me, it started from working at university, every single opportunity that I could get. So I work in library, I worked at front desk, I worked with our operations manager, I worked like any opportunity that I could get. I was working in any departments that we were going to exhibitions with our university. So something that was really helping me with the language, was helping me with my communication, was helping me to answer calls on the phone. I think sometimes we underestimate all of these small skills that are super important when we're starting our own businesses as well. So I would say that it started at the university when I was going to different exhibitions with my colleagues, with my classmates at the university to promote our school, being at the front desk, being able to sell university basically to newcomers. And after I graduated, I started working. I found my first job from a newspaper, and it was a printing press in Garhoud. And it was a local company. They had an advertising division as well, very small advertising division. I worked there for a couple of years, and I went to a regional advertising agency. So I would say it was really like step by step. The regional advertising agency, our client was Salam Studio and Stores at Wafi Mall. At that time, there weren't Harvey Nichols and Saks Fifth Avenue at that time. So it was a great experience to be able to work at such a great brand at Wafi. And then after that, I found another job in an international advertising agency at Publicis Graphics, and I was working on Nestle as my main account, which was an amazing job experience as well. And then I went to France, I came back, and I started my own company.
Okay, and also, what challenges did you have to overcome?
Um, I believe that there are always challenges on our any journey that we are at. So one of the mindset shifts for us is looking at challenges as different opportunities. When there are no challenges in our lives, it means that we have been in our comfort zone for too long. So it's really the way that we look at challenges. There aren't any challenges that I say negative challenges, but there were a lot of things that I needed to learn. As I mentioned, there are a lot of cultural restrictions. So in your own mind, if you have a growing up, you haven't seen any other woman working and being at senior levels. So even unconsciously, maybe you have those beliefs that the certain jobs are only for men. So a lot of them are challenges of your own internal beliefs based on how you have been raised. There are also challenges in the society. As I mentioned, was pregnant. Finding a job was not necessarily an option for me at that time. But then the opportunity of starting my own business came up, which was amazing as well. When my first son was born, I had a lot of challenges because I remember when he was born, I thought maybe all of my dreams died when I became a mother as well, because the first year was really, really tough. So being able to overcome all of these challenges, finding myself again, prioritizing myself again, giving time and I would say attention to my own needs as a mother and as a woman, these are all the things that I had to learn along the way on this journey.
Impressive. And what are you most proud of in your work?
Um, I think in general, the thing that I'm most proud of is exactly as I mentioned, to prioritize myself again and prioritizing my other values as well. So I wanted to be that role model for my sons to know that they can also follow their dreams no matter what. So being a mother and having my own entrepreneurial projects and giving attention to my own needs and my own values on this journey is something that, as I mentioned, I'm still on this journey. I think it never ends while we are experiencing this life on planet Earth. But taking that route of the unknown is something that I'm extremely proud of.
Okay, and what do you think is your impact on the world and the environment?
I believe that impact, each and every one of us, we have kind of an impact in this world. And one of the reasons we do what we do is that we believe empowered mothers are empowered leaders, and we empower them through entrepreneurship. But I also believe that there are many, many ways to have that impact in this world. It doesn't have to be through entrepreneur projects. Each of us as parents, we are raising the next generation. So being able to raise our future leaders with positive mindsets, who don't stereotype, who prioritize love over fear, that is the biggest impact that we can have in this world. So for me, the most important thing is the my sons that I'm raising, they are raised with certain values. These are our future leaders. So each of us as parents, we are having that impact. And for me, that's being able to empower and educate other mothers as well. That is the biggest impact that we have.
Okay, so Mona, what advices would you give children who dream of becoming entrepreneurs?
Um, it's an amazing journey, and it's a journey of unknown. You're turning something invisible to something visible, and there are a lot of times that there are doubts. It's the journey of the unknown, as I mentioned. It's just a matter of taking the small steps and moving forward. So as long as you know where you want to go, so you have that destination pretty clear. It's exactly like driving. So if you know where you are going, you don't necessarily need to be aware of all the routes and all the every single street that you're taking and all the rounds. As long as you know where you're going, so you have that clear vision, even if the road is not complete yet in front of you, that's okay. As long as you can see the next 10 steps in front of you and taking it one by one, that's all that matters. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed because there's so many things that we need to do, and we want to have that crystal clear roadmap. It's okay to not know, and it's okay to just take action. Those small actions, you will eventually get to your destination.
That was nice. So, speaking of children, how many do you have? How old are they, and what are their names?
Absolutely. So I have two boys. They're not that little anymore. I used to say two little ones, but one of them is turning 10 actually next month. So he is your age. And I'm really impressed with what you ladies are doing, you girls are doing. That's amazing. His name is Ryan. He loves also, he loves reading, he loves chess. And for me, I believe that as a mother, I'm learning so much from him, which is incredible. There are a lot of things that I learned from him actually, and it's fascinating to have that open mind to be able to learn from our children. They teach us a lot. And my second son, his name is Darian, and he is 6, growing up very very fast.
Okay, and what are your interests outside of work?
Um, for me, one of the main things about entrepreneurship is that there is no, I mean, it depends on how you want to do it, how you want to set those boundaries. But for me, there's no thick line between my personal life and my professional life. So a lot of the things that I'm doing is like, I call it Project Mona, and then everything else that I'm doing is kind of my passion. So for me, I love anything that comes to fitness and sport and well-being, from yoga to different activities. I also love reading, and I love traveling. So these are the things, exploring. I would say anything new, anything that you can explore and learn, and being curious is something that I appreciate a lot in life.
Okay, well, thank you for answering my questions. I am very impressed with the work you do. Your achievements are an inspiration, and I wish you to continue to prosper and succeed in the future. Back to you, Kenza.
Faiza, thank you so much, first of all, for all of your questions. They were very amazing questions, and I love having that interview with you.
What kind of entrepreneurial education do you give moms?
In our membership, which is Mompreneurs Tribe, we focus on the 3 areas of well-being, family, and business. So every month we talk about different topics, from marketing to financials to being more confident in front of camera, to things which are well-being, like being more active, sleeping well, nutrition, as well as the things that are related to our families. So parenting and kids. So these are the 3 top values that I personally have, and these are the topics that we discuss as well. And our entrepreneurs are usually at the idea stage, so those who want to start a business but they're not yet sure if that's a valid idea, and they just want to be in an environment with other entrepreneurs, as well as people who have established their business. I would say that mainly in the first 5 years of their business.
Thank you. What is mompreneurship?
um, I know some people, they, especially these days, we say, okay, we are an entrepreneur, or I am a CEO. We don't necessarily need to have that mom or women part of it, because we're all the same. And I appreciate that a lot. At the same time, there are many challenges and many things in common that mom entrepreneurs they have. And for me, mom entrepreneurship is knowing that raising a family and having a thriving business is not a zero-sum game. So a lot of times, again, unconsciously, it's either or. So I'm either a very successful person at my work, or I am a good mother. So for me, knowing that we can have both. So I have a podcast called You Can Have It All, and having that all has nothing to do with being perfect. It's just a matter of knowing exactly what it is that we want, having that support group around us, and something that, again, the podcast says you can have it all, but you can't do it all. So being able to automate, being able to delegate, and being able to eliminate everything that is not serving us in life. This is the main core of our group as a mom entrepreneur. So when I was single, let's say if a single person at the age of 22 wants to start a business, it's a totally different experience than a mother of a newborn. So being able to talk about those challenges, the things that we have in common, which from my experience is worldwide. So these challenges that I'm talking about, the things that we have in common, it's not for a specific region, it's worldwide. And being able to achieve our goals together, have a bigger impact collectively, is what we stand for.
How was your childhood like?
I was born and raised in Iran. So at that time, there was war between Iran and Iraq. So being raised in a country of war, it comes with its own challenges. I think the beauty of being a child is that you don't know any other reality. So that becomes your reality. So there's no comparison. So I would say that my childhood to me was, even though it was in the middle of the war, was a great childhood in Iran. And one thing that I learned was, which is my TEDx talk, is about not stereotyping. One of the things that I absolutely believe in is world peace through women's empowerment. Because I come from that childhood of being raised in war for 8 years, I believe that all of these wars and the things, the conflicts that are happening is just because we don't know about the other country. We don't know about their cultures. We don't know about their beauties. So when people start traveling, they get to know each other. They get to see other places. We are all the same at the end of the day. We all appreciate the same thing. We all value the same thing. So for me, even though Iraq was the enemy for 8 years, when I came to Dubai, my best friends, they were from Iraq. And I think being able to break that stereotype that we are enemies, it's one of the biggest achievements of mankind, to be able to remove all of their barriers. And I still, some of my best friends are from Iraq. We do have at a human level the capability of loving each other and prioritizing love over fear.
What did you study to be prepared to do this work?
One of the reasons we started the education part with Mompreneurs Worldwide is because I had all of this background in the corporate world, and I was managing big accounts, and I thought that running a business will be very similar to that, but it's not. And I have 2 master's degrees. So I had studied a lot. I thought with my education at university and with my work background, it's enough to start a business. But when you start a business at the startup level, it's a whole different ball game. It's completely different. So there are certain things, from HR to managing your team. There are so many little things that you need to take care of, which you did not even think about when you were in the corporate world. Somebody else was always taking care of those things. So I always say that we don't know what we don't know, and some things are not working, and when we're wondering why it is that it's not working. So based on statistics, 90% of businesses fail within the first 3 years. So I was really fascinated to know, okay, what is happening in the first 3 years that all of these businesses fail? And I experienced it firsthand. We almost lost our business in the third year as well. Then I started my research with learning about the startups and when starting a business. And for me, being able to share all of these experiences with others is the reason we do what we do. But I had to learn a lot beyond the traditional educational system, as well as my background at corporates.
Do you work with a team or on your own?
So a great question, Kenza. In Dubai, we had our own headquarters. We had an office where we had employees who were coming to the office. So it was a complete different experience. Now I have a virtual team. So this is my home office. So it's a very different experience when you're running a digital business. It has pros and it has cons as well. But I'm personally really, really enjoying it. I believe that the hybrid model is the best, when you have some kind of headquarters, but you don't have to go to work every day. One of the things that definitely gives us that flexibility at work is to not have those set work hours from, let's say, 9 to 5, which is a very, it's not designed necessarily for mothers. Like, these are the changes that they want to make. So all of these CEOs, all of these mom entrepreneurs, they are changing the rules. They are setting their own rules, something that serves us as women entrepreneurs. So I have a virtual team, and my team comes from different part of the world. Creating systems when you're running a virtual team is super important. And technology really helps us. Maybe 10 years ago, maybe we did not have all of these technology to enable us to have virtual teams and virtual companies. But nowadays, it's super easy to have a virtual company.
Was it hard to move to Canada and grow your business there?
The short answer is yes, but exactly as that mindset, that hard doesn't necessarily mean negative. So challenges doesn't mean negative. Hard is not a negative word. It just means growth. So if we replace all of these words of it's difficult or it's challenging or it's hard with this is a new growth opportunity for me. This is a new way for me to learn. So of course, my lifestyle completely changed. I had an amazing support group personally and professionally in Dubai. I had built my network for 8 years. That was my biggest asset professionally, again in Dubai. So letting go of all of those was hard, yes, but also it was a new challenge for me. So with all the difficulties, with all the ups and downs, if I had to do it again, and I would definitely say yes to that opportunity.
Thank you. How does Mompreneurs help other moms now?
So through education, the main thing is the education part and the community, having that support group, knowing that you are not alone. So we have a WhatsApp group, we have a Facebook group, and our members are very connected. As soon as we are able to meet each other, see each other again, because we still have many restrictions here in Canada. We are going to have monthly meetings as well. So that in person and having knowing the local businesses in your community is also super important. So for me, my vision again is to have that hybrid model, to be able to have members from all around the world. That was one of the challenges we had in Dubai, because our entrepreneurship course is an amazing course. But then I had women from Saudi, from Kuwait, who wanted to attend and they couldn't because it was an in-person training. So being able to give them that opportunity to attend our courses digitally online, that's amazing, but also providing that platform for them to be able to meet other businesses locally, that's something that we are focusing on as well. And we have 3 trainings each month. We have 1 master class, and then we have 2 live trainings as well.
Thank you. What equipment and tools do you need for your work?
For the digital business, there are a lot of things. Like for systems, there are many projects there are many project management tools that you can use. We use ClickUp, which helps us to prioritize all of those projects. But then there's Asana, there's Trello. Like there are a lot of project management tools that you can use. Our accounting software is also online. We're using QuickBooks, but then there's Xero. There are other platforms as well. And so these are the technology. We use Dropbox. We use Google Drive. These are on a daily basis. These are the tools that we're using to run a digital business, and of course Zoom and StreamYard for our live training. So in terms of a technology, there are many different apps and platforms that we use in order to run the business. In terms of the team, it's also running a digital business versus a traditional business. Your team members and their roles are different as well.
Thank you. What do you like about living in your city?
Vancouver is a beautiful city. So I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is nature. And being able to do hikes, being able to be in the nature, being able to be close to, the first thing is definitely nature. There's also an amazing harmony in the city of Vancouver. So these are the things that from, people and that community, knowing your neighbors, it's something that is a new experience for me as well, and I absolutely love it.
Feiza, have you come up with any other questions?
Yes, I have. Mona, how many countries have you been to?
I should do the countdown, Feiza. I do have a map actually at my office. One of those that you scratch when you visit a country. I really don't know. That's a great question. But in terms, I have been to most of the continents. Also, I haven't been to Australia yet, and I haven't been to South Africa. To South America. But other continents, I have visited some of the countries on that continent.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mona and Feiza, for the great discussion and for all the things we learned today. Thank you, boosters, for listening to this interview. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can hear about upcoming sessions with other change makers. Please also tell your friends about Oboot and share our social media links with them. And last but not least, go to oboot.co to learn about opportunities to collect digital badges and help us draw down carbon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Feiza. Thanks, Kenza. I really enjoyed this interview.